Hey guys, today in my kitchen I am going to show you how to do a simple marinara sauce from scratch. It involves part raw tomatoes and part canned tomatoes, but if you have garden tomatoes then you can definitely use those instead. So let's start by having me explain the pasta, which will go with the marinara. So to start, what I am going to do is I'm just going to get some water boiling here, just so it's prepared for when we cook our pasta. So to start, I'm going to explain a thing about pasta that you need to know, because not everyone when they first start cooking knows this. But this pasta, it's a bit more fancy, maybe a bit better quality, but it will cook for longer than the more affordable option. In some cases though, the more affordable option can take longer, because with any pasta, it is brand dependent and you should read the instructions every time on how long you need to cook each pasta for, so that it doesn't get overcooked and mushy. So that is very important to note. Today I feel like we're gonna do the fancy pasta. Now this one doesn't have instructions, which is why I'm gonna do it. Essentially, when a recipe, or when an ingredient rather, doesn't have any particular set of instructions, then what you need to do is you need to learn, using the very basic pasta, how long it will take to cook the other pasta, so that you can kind of get an idea of how this pasta should feel when it is done cooking. This one I've cooked before and it takes 10 to 15 minutes to cook. So basically when I get around the 10-minute mark, I'm going to start testing it then, and I'll show you how to do that later on in this episode. So now we can get started with our sauce. So this is just a marinara sauce. I find that marinara sauces are a lot higher in quality. Don't know why my voice broke there, sorry about that. But they tend to be higher in quality, which is why I actually started making my own. If you don't want to make your own, there are some good options out there, but definitely give it a try for making your own, because it will taste way better than something you would buy in the store. So to start, I'm gonna need more garlic cloves than this, but I'm going for about 4 or 5 garlic cloves. If you're not a huge garlic fan, then you can just go 3. But I am gonna put it in a really large blender bottle like this. So I didn't record this part, but I'll show you what I'm doing anyway. I have 1 small onion, and if you don't have a small onion, what you can do is you can get a medium onion and just use half of it. But because this is so small and I'm going to let my blender do all the work, I am just going to have them cut the root end off and throw them into my blender bottle. And now to my blender bottle, I am going to put about 1.5 tablespoons of Italian seasonings in, and I am going to season that on top of that with some salt and pepper just to start. We're going to be tasting for salt and pepper later, so definitely add a bit less now and taste it later to be sure it's where you like it. And before I forget, we are also going to add in, because our tomatoes tend to be acidic here, about 1 tablespoon of sugar. So like I said, I am doing a mixture of fresh tomatoes and canned tomatoes. So I have a San Marzano tomato here, but if you don't have that, you will need to add a bit more Italian seasoning just to kind of flavor it, and other spices like garlic and onion if you really want to do that, or you can just stay with the fresh onion and garlic here, but you might have to add more of the onion and garlic in that case. And all I am going to do with these, because I'll show you, it doesn't really have much of a stem, so I think I'm good just having them and putting them in here. And then if it gets too full, I can always blend and then add some more. But I am going to try and fit as many in as I can right now. And the canned tomatoes I'll add in to this after, and I'll see you in a second here. I should also point out, if you don't have a Parmesan rind, you're going to have to add in some Parmesan, about 1/2 cup to 3/4 cup to your sauce after we're finished blending it. So now that we have our first batch of tomatoes blended, I am just going to add it to a pan, and I am going to get that going on a medium, maybe even a medium-high heat. Maybe a medium-high, and then we'll let that start going while we work on our other tomatoes. So just a tip, a way to get a really good quality tomato is to definitely buy the whole tomatoes in a can, or if you can find them in a clear container, like a clear plastic or glass container, that is even better. But whole tomatoes are generally better quality, so definitely do that. Now off these go to the blender. And now this is very important. You do not add the Parmesan rind in right away because it could burn to the bottom of your pan. So what we are going to do is we're going to let this cook for about 15 to 20 minutes or until it thickens up a bit. And then we'll add our Parmesan in and finish cooking it that way. But right now you just want to mix all the tomatoes together to kind of get the flavoring evenly throughout. And I'll see you here either when my pasta is about to go in or when my sauce is done. And also, do not taste the marinara sauce right now because it will deepen in flavor as you cook it, and then you'll taste for seasoning like sugar, salt, and pepper and Italian seasoning. Now put a lid on it and let that sit for 15 to 20 minutes, stirring on occasion. So it looks like my pasta water is ready to go first. So I am simply just going to add in my pasta. And again, this didn't have instructions, but if you're starting out, find one that tells you how long to cook them for. But I will show you a easy way to tell, or a kind of easy way to tell whether these are done if you choose to go with a fancier grade. Now quickly wipe off your stovetop if you in fact splashed water like I did onto myself. Now with pasta, when you first add it in and every like 3 or 4 minutes, you're gonna want to stir your pasta, maybe even a bit more than that, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. But give it a nice stir because if you don't do that, the pasta will stick together and not cook correctly. So I did bring my sauce up to a nice boil, but it's really starting to bubble up now, so I'm just gonna turn it on to a medium high and let it simmer for as long as I said. And I am also going to give it a quick stir along with my pasta, just to ensure everything's getting along nicely. Oh yeah, that's really starting to get dark, I like that. And very important, lid back on so you don't splash yourself. And I also forgot to mention the tomatoes that were fresh that I used were maybe the size of my fist. The canned tomatoes were 400 millimeters each, and I used 2 of them to make the sauce. And it is very important to always keep an eye on your cooking just in case anything bubbles over, because you don't want that burning onto your stovetop or even getting worse than that from there. Now continue on occasion stirring your sauce and your pasta, and I will come back here in a second to tell you how you kind of know how your pasta is done. An easy way to check to be sure that it is in fact done. Now if you were interested in doing some ground beef along with your sauce, what you would do initially is you would cook off your meat in a bit of oil until it was completely brown. You don't want any pink in it. And then what you would do is you would add your sauce on top and stir that in. And now my pasta's kind of been going till about the 10-minute mark. One of the ways you can see that your pasta is actually cooking is it will get larger than what your pasta was before in most cases. I know macaroni can be difficult to tell that way, but now all I am going to do is I am going to press on it. I can still tell that this is a bit hard because it's giving me some resistance and it broke in half. So I am just going to let that go a bit longer. The easiest way to tell whether your pasta is done though is to taste it. So if I were to taste this now, which I'll show you, I can tell it's still a bit too chewy. Once that softens and has a slight bite to it, just a little one, then I'll know it's ready to go into my sauce once the sauce is also done. For beginners, I would just taste it after blowing on it so it cools down. And if it's like slightly has a bite to it, but not a huge one, that's how you know it's done. And you don't want it to be too soft because it will fall apart in the sauce and you won't like the gumminess of that. So I'm just going to check my pasta. It is nice and soft, but I am just going to give it a quick taste test to be sure that it gives away just a little bit, that it's to the tooth, and I'll let you know if it's good to go. So it is in fact just about soft enough. I might have about a minute or 2 left to go on it, and then I'll be able to drain it off. And another thing I should point out, when measuring the water for your pasta, you want to fill your pot about 3/4 of the way up because the pasta will soak in some of that water and kind of dissipate the water of it. So you want to make sure you have it about an inch or 2 above your pasta. And away we go, it is done now. So another important fact about pasta: if you ever are rushing and need to go somewhere, you should never partly cook pasta because it can make you sick in some cases. But you want to finish fully cooking it and you want to drain it right away, even if you're going somewhere, because I've done this before when I was much younger and naive. I've left pasta in very hot water and it turned to absolute soup. So don't do that either. Now let's just check on our sauce. see how that's coming along. It is reducing, which is what I like to see. I think this can reduce a little bit more, and it has darkened up plenty. So I'm happy with how this is turning out so far, and I will show you what it looks like before I add in the pasta and taste it, just so you kind of get an idea of what you're looking for. And you can see how I've taken the lid off here. That is very important, because if you leave the lid on, it will steam and become mushy also. So just to kind of give you a time update on my sauce, the tomatoes were a bit more watery than I expected. So I am sitting at about 15 minutes that it's been cooking. So it might take longer if your tomatoes are more watery. So while that goes, this isn't a sponsorship or anything, but I watched a YouTuber who had smiley spoons on her channel, and I thought they were so cute, and she was like, I got them from Amazon. So if you ever want me to like open up an Amazon account and kind of include these as one of the items that I want to sell, if I can possibly do that, then I will definitely try and do that. I'm not sure how that's going to work because I've never done it before, but I will definitely, if you want, open one up so you can see where you can get these guys. They are fairly expensive, but just let me know in the comments below if you would like to see that. So now that my sauce has thickened up a bit, even though I don't have the Parmesan in here yet, I'm just going to give it a quick taste to see if the flavors have deepened for the tomatoes, and then I'll see if I can add the Parmesan yet. Almost there, almost. You just want to cook it so it essentially doesn't taste like raw tomato, which is what we're kind of going here for. So that's why mine isn't quite done yet. It might take another 10 minutes from now. So just be sure to budget your time accordingly to have to cook the sauce for about a half an hour. And don't use the same spoon again unless you decide to wash it, which is what I did here. So my sauce is definitely getting a bit thicker, so I'd say it's about 5 minutes from being done. And I'll show you what it looks like here in a second. And now it's been a few more minutes. I'm just gonna give this a stir and see how that's doing. Free taste test on my finger apparently, because man, this is bubbling. So let's just quickly take a quick taste test. And that is where we want it to be. So right before we take this off the heat, I am just going to turn my heat down a little bit to about a medium. And I am gonna add in my Parmesan rind and let that go for a few more minutes, just so that the Parmesan can kind of help flavor the sauce. I will also pull you in closer here, and I will show you the thickness of the sauce. You can see the way that drizzles. I'll pull you in again just so that you can see even closer. So you can see the kind of way that it kind of wants to come off, but stays on a little bit, and that is what you were wanting. And while you're letting that Parmesan go, again, just stir it maybe once every minute, just to ensure that Parmesan isn't sticking too much. And you can tell that your Parmesan is starting to infuse once it starts to get bendy like that, so it'll just be a few minutes out from there maybe. And then again, just before we take this off the heat, taste and see if you can taste that Parmesan cheese. Which I can, so we're good here. Don't forget to turn off your heat, take it off stovetop, and then we can easily just compost this piece of Parmesan because you don't want to be eating that. And I will give you a look on how this looks. Are you ready for it? There we go, nice and thick. Let's see if I can shoot one-handed. And that is what you want in this sauce. Now for the marinara sauce, you can use this for anything like chicken Parmesan. You can go and put it on meatloaf. You can do a number of things. But today I just felt like doing a simple pasta. So I am just going to dump my pasta in there and I'll be back in a second. So what I like to do is I like to put my pasta into the sauce so that I don't make too much of a mess of my pot over there. And then I am just going to stir this in. If you reserved any pasta water, you can set that in now and that would kind of marry these two together. I usually remember, but I kind of forgot. So I'm just going to hopefully combine this nicely. And if your family are cheese lovers like we are, then you can definitely put some more Parmesan cheese on top, or you can even mix some in and kind of control how much your family eats depending on what kind of parent you are. But I am just going to add it willy-nilly. And the best part about the ratio, I used the 4 tomatoes that were fresh and the 2 cans of 400mm tomatoes, San Marzano tomatoes that is. It makes the perfect amount for this particular dish if you have 1 pound of pasta. Now if you want to bump up the vegetable content by adding in some frozen spinach or something like that, I say why not. I'm just going to do some arugula in here because that's what I have. Stir that in so it kind of melts all nicely in there, and it also adds a nice color, so I like that. Red and green go perfectly together, am I right? And now let me get you a nice shot of this. And now it is good to serve and oh so perfect, so I am going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to start first. Nice healthy portion there. Now let me give you my honest thoughts on my pasta and my marinara sauce. I'll let you know if the pasta is just the right texture. It cooked for about 12 or 13 minutes, and it was the Garofalo brand. That's roughly how long it cooks for, but you want to start checking it at 10 minutes. And the marinara sauce is going to be amazing. I can just tell you that now. Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, I love it. So that is literally how easy it is to make marinara sauce. It only takes about half an hour and is way better and even competes with RAO's homemade sauce. So this is definitely a win in my book. And if it sounds good to you, or you know someone who might want to make it, then definitely share this video or try it out yourself. And until next time, a banana. This was how to on the affordable banana on YouTube.